Today at the temple, they're listening intently to the story of Lord Rama's rescuing of Sita from her evil abductors. But for Regina and her sons, the devotions and celebrations can wait. The festive season means extra demand for Regina's services. She's now delivering daily consignments of clothes for the shopkeepers in Janakpur. With a steady turnover, she can feed the family for a month and even pay off a few small debts. Even after 2 weeks of uninterrupted service, the railway hasn't yet earned enough to pay the workers a salary. Arman's situation is becoming critical, and the wolves are at the door. With mounting debts and no guarantee of a job, there are few options in Nepal for people like Arman, unless he joins his peers, migrating overseas for work. For the religious, Janakpur may be a town for spiritual salvation, but for the locals, it also holds the promise of a better life. These days, they see themselves less as pilgrims and more as economic migrants. Janakpur town supports a network of immigration services to serve the ever-increasing demand for jobs abroad. Industry and manpower agencies, travel agents, remittance companies. If you're prepared to travel, the Janakpur network will find you a job anywhere in the world for a price. Packages, goods and passengers are already making their way to Janakpur station, displaying addresses of distant lands. They tell an increasingly common story of Nepal, a massive population exodus.
कमाई के लागि में कुछ अपना उन्नति करे के लागि में ये बैठला से के खिएते.
Once Nepal exported agricultural produce, timber, tea, herbs. But today its biggest export is its people. As the train departs, its carriages are filled with local gossip and travellers' tales of life stories from home and abroad.
कतार से लिया गांव का एक घर का 2-3 आदमी पूरा घर में एक घर में 2-3 आदमी वो पूरा कतार में.
Nepal is fast becoming a country of migrants. More than half of its households have at least one member of the family working abroad.
हमारा गांव में तो 10 गो छाड़ा भेटबे नहीं करती पा माने दूसरा छाड़ा नहीं भेटती 50 गो बुरबा में होते बना सब में.
Nearly a quarter of Nepal's income is made up by its citizens sending money home.
अब बाहर हम सब जेबो करछि नै त इंटरेस्ट पर पाइ लियो पड़े है बुझलिए हमार गरीब आदमी को सब त पाइ लेबे तो इंटरेस्ट पे 5 रुपए इंटरेस्ट पर लिए पड़े पाइ.
क्या कम भीड़ बुझाया विदेश में आज जाया विदेश में से एक सासु भया की करत 1 लाख रुपया खर्चा एक सब पर जाइए आया न कोनो आमदनी नहीं है ओयन सब भाग के चले आते.
After 2 weeks of uninterrupted service, the train to Jainagar has derailed. Happily, no one has got hurt.
से नेपाल के गाड़ी गिर जाता है सर, इसीलिए।
But it's no cause for alarm for the regulars. They're all too used to it and willingly lend their support when there's a problem. But they don't take kindly to any criticism of their precious train. As usual, rather than wait for help to arrive, Nepal Railways relies on its greatest resource, the manpower of its passengers.
क्या हुआ? अब आदमी लोग सब हाथ पर धर के उठा दिया।
उठा दिए।
हाँ, उठ गया गाड़ी।
पैसेंजर के मदद से खेल ठाल के आगाड़ी पछाड़ी करके केनो अथी कर लेले।
हम सब जा रहल छी, अब कथी करबै, काम करबऽ पड़त।
Luckily, yesterday's derailment didn't cause any major disruption. It just bent a few rails. Jaleshwar is head of the track repair gang. The derailment site is 10 miles from his home, and like the rest of the railway staff, he's prepared to do his duty wherever and whenever he's needed.
चिट्ठिए एहन भेटल छै कि अहाँ हम घर हो रहली छुट्टियों में, आज जेना छुट्टी छलै, आज तो हमरा जेबाके नहीं छलै कतौ नहीं, आज हम घरे बैठतियै, लेकिन तैयो की करू, भूखले जाय पड़ल साइकिल से।
Reclaimed sleepers are already being hurried to the site on the emergency motor trolley so that the bent track can be repaired in time for the morning train.
अब ट्रेन चला दै छी, लोकल ट्रेन छै, एठाम के आदमी सब लोकल सब छै, सब ओइ पर जोर देलक, कहलक।
It takes Jaleshwar and his gang just under an hour to repair the old track, so there's no delay to the schedule. But back at home in his village, Jaleshwar is under a lot of pressure, not just from the railway, but from his family too. Now his younger son wants him to pay his travel expenses so he can work abroad, just like his brother.
जेठका बचवा 12 क्लास पढ़लक, ओहो कहलक हम विदेश जाए, वो चल गेल विदेश। अब रह गेल सूर्य नारायण, ताऊ कहिए हम नहीं पढ़बे, हम विदेश जाए।
Jaleshwar had to take a loan to finance his eldest son's trip to Qatar. 6 years later, he's only just finished repaying it. And now that his younger son, Surya, also wants to work abroad, he has just no idea where the money will come from.
गाँव पर मन नहीं लगे, बढ़िया नहीं लगे है कि वही सब विधि गरीब छी हम सब, कथी करो, मजबूरी विदेश जा चाहे छी। यहाँ के मतलब अत इंसान कतनो कमा ले तो हमरा सबके पैसा नहीं बची, अब विदेश जाकर कर्जा ला कर गेल।
Today, Surya has come to Janakpur for a vital health checkup. He has to have a medical certificate before he can travel abroad.
मेडिकल करवा के कतार जाके।
Qatar will be hosting the Football World Cup in 2022. And they're building to a deadline, so the demand for cheap labour is high.
कतार जाके ये अब सोचने पड़ल छै, केना रहबे ओतऽ, केना खतबे, कोन काम देते, वही के सोच में अब बलहो में मरले, कोई बिल्डिंग गिर पड़ले, देह पाठी भ गेले कि अथी रबड़ हुआ मोटका उहे गिर पड़ले माथा पर, तो मर गेले। खौजिए में मरले दू कोई।
At Janakpur station, Regina's elder son, Raymat, is waiting for his mother to arrive on the train. He used to make these train runs himself, but they've been cracking down on smugglers recently, so his mother wants to protect him from arrest.
हमू जाए छली अभी जना उये है ना तभी प्रशासन सब है ना से मरद के पकड़ाव बेसी करे है मारपीट करे वही का चलते हम नहीं जाए छी.
And today is no ordinary day for the morning service from Jainagar. There's going to be a big surprise raid involving customs, police and ticket inspectors. They're out to catch smugglers and fare dodgers. And it's an opportunity to claw back some money from ticketless travellers and to confiscate some contraband. As usual, Regina is aboard the train with sacks of imported goods, and both her sons are waiting to unload at Janakpur. Today, Regina and her sons have to shift a bigger consignment than usual, and she gets caught. But Regina doesn't let the first seizure deter her. She makes a run with her second consignment. But she's caught again. Aman is also in the front line, collecting money from fare dodgers. Age is no excuse for fare dodging, and not paying for your ticket or for your cycle is an offence.
Hello, Papa. Janakpur पकड़ा गेलिए. साइकिल के बिल नहीं चलते लगी.
The youngest dodger gives up his shopping money as a fine and then scuttles off to face his family. As the station quietens down, Regina sees an opportunity to liberate one of her impounded bags. Three of her bags are still with the customs, and she tries to plead with the guards, but to no avail. It's been an expensive day for Regina and her sons.
मात्र 2-3 गोरा के पकड़े बेसी बेसी माल तो छोड़ दे आ छोटका के जाए दुख दिए 10,000
But it's been a good day for the railways. As our man and his friends watch their accountant add up their takings from ticket sales, freight charges and all the other fines, there should be enough cash for some wages.
ऊपर से पैसा नहीं आया है सर हम लोग जो है कमाए हैं ना उसी में से खा रहे हैं
And it's very good news. They've collected enough to pay themselves some wages. Accountant Sitasharam agrees to pay 1 month's salary to everyone. Tomorrow. The news couldn't have come at a better time. Now they can enjoy the festivities. Tomorrow is the auspicious 8th day of the Dashain festival, when Hindus sacrifice a goat to the goddess Durga for good luck. Even with the expectation of 1 month's wages, Aman can't even think about sending his son to school. But he's happy to buy some books for him to keep the dream alive.
प्यार वाला तो कौन प्यार वाला गीत कौन आप ओकरा से सुनी भी तब ना तेरी मेरी प्रेम कहानी मुझसे जो में बनाया
It's payday, the first in many months. And at Janakpur station, our man is in high spirits while he waits for the staff from other stations down the line. At Kadjuri station, there are many goats waiting to board. They're all to be sacrificed at the temple in Janakpur, a ritual thousands of years old. For many Hindus, animal sacrifice is central to their religious practice. Today the sacrifice will be made to appease the Mother Goddess for their bad deeds of the last year. As the devout escort their offerings to the temple on Janakpur station, it's payday at last. A month's salary for Vilash and Aman is just £60, which is less than £2 a day. And outside, others are waiting. Creditors, shopkeepers and booze sellers are all waiting to stake their claim on the money. Now Vilash and his co-workers are able to pay back some of their debts. On the loco in Janakpur, they've also sacrificed a goat, not just to the goddess, but to the diesel engine ZDM 524. Although most of his salary went to paying off debts, Aman would not let that stop him from having some fun. He and his wife make a visit to the local fair for some cheap thrills and something for the kids. Although Regina is a Muslim, she, like many other poor people, can ill afford to believe in sectarian divisions. Regina wants to thank the Hindu goddess for her blessings. She's survived, and so have her children.
जाने हम मुसलमान हम मान दली समान अहाँ दसै के से हे दे पितर हमरा ई भल क दिया हमहू जाके प्रसादी चढ़ाई आबै छी कोई खसिए मानने रहै छी अहाँ के देवता हमर देवता दू न मन दू.
As the festivities come to an end in Janakpur, the railway and the town are grateful for this boost to their income. But down the line at Jainagar station on the Indian border, as they dispatch the morning service to Nepal, a letter arrives. It's come from head office, and it's addressed to the station master.
विषय जयनगर स्टेशन भवन सम्बन्धमा उपयुक्त विषय रेल विभाग काठमाडौँको पस 2017 प्रस्तावित स्टेशन निर्माण गर्न हाल स्टेशन रहेको भवन भत्काउनु पर्ने भएकोले एयरकन.
Now it's official. The government's planned expansion is going ahead. The Janakpur line will be closed. It will be upgraded and rebuilt by the Indian government. And if things go well, in 3 years' time, it will reopen as Nepal's first broad-gauge train service to Janakpur and beyond. It may be good news for Nepal, but for the 150 staff of this narrow-gauge train, it's the news they've been dreading. But there's a more immediate problem.
जयनगर में रेल पटरी छे उखड़ी है वो डोजर टपे छे ना वो एक्सकावेटर तो वैसा है रेल उखड़ियल है 3टा रेल वो रेल के जे है से सरियाव पड़ते कर्मचारी सब आप बंद भए तो हम सब बैठ जाए.
Despite the letter, the railway workers are determined to run their little train for as long as they can and to earn whatever they can. For now, Jaleshwar is managing to keep the train in service, but his son Surya is more realistic. He planned to go abroad, but with his father's job disappearing, he knows that getting a loan for the air ticket and visa will be impossible.
हम अपने मेहनत करके विदेश जा चाहे छी कैलाकि यार पैसा नहीं लिया पड़ते घर से लिखो नहीं पड़ते क्या करो सर वही दो.
So Surya starts doing what others do in this border area. He becomes a small-time black marketeer, smuggling household goods across the border. In Janakpur, Aman is busy collecting tickets. He's not ready to quit until he's forced to. But he's faced with a difficult decision about his son's future. His dream of sending him to a good school means getting further into debt, and he just cannot afford it. His wife is still teaching her kids at home, hoping that someday they'll realize her dreams.
साइली पहले मोली साहब बनाए सनियों पढ़ते पहले हम बेटी के अथी बनी थी नर्स बनी थी पढ़ाई लिखा के डॉक्टरी पढ़ाई पढ़ी थी डॉक्टर क्या बनी
दवाई दिए ला दवाई
दुनिया में जिए के कोनो व्यक्ति के एगो मंजिल एगो सीढ़ी नहीं है तब तो कोई दुनिया में नहीं जी सके कहियो लाइफ में नहीं. तो हमर गरीब मतलब कि हमर दुख के आशा है कि हम ई चीज से सामना करते 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 जेबे जब तक जिंदगी तब तक अहाँके आशा राखी पड़त नहीं आशा रखबै तऽ अहाँ नहीं जी सकै छी दुनिया में
Regina is not ready to give up on the train either. As long as it keeps running, she can earn money. And for people like her, this train has been a savior.
जे देश में जे गाड़ी चलते वह नहीं खा अब बड़ी लाइन कहे छी देबे तब बड़ी लाइन बना देबे तब ने हम बुझबे बना देंगे आ नहीं बनेने छी तो सपने धन बुझे छी ने आ देत के नहीं देत ये अभी नहीं खोज लिया तो आशा लगेने छी कखनो चली तो हमरा ये प्यारा नहीं दे
Her eldest son Raymat is ready to take any job to help maintain the family. He's managed to get some poorly paid labouring work on a building site in Janakpur.
हमहूँ कमाइ छी घर आश्रम चलबै छी मायके सहयोग करै छी आब ओहिके बाद हमहूँ विदेश चलि जेबै चाहे कतहु काम करऽ लगबै तऽ मायके आब घरे बैठा कऽ खियाबै
Regina is surprised to hear that her eldest son has got a job. And like any mother, she's both proud and touched.
हमरा नहियो कहीं लेबर में चल जाए बच्चा काम उजे हमर माई बिजनेस क के खाई हवे अखनो के समय में बहुते खुशी छी तै समय में हमरा बुझाय कखनो हमर मत छूटे है अल्लाह से हम दुख पड़ नीच नीचा में धरती रहनी ऊपर आसमान रहे कोई नहीं रहे सा अब बच्चा पला गेल उ कहे महीने काल हम कमा के खेबू छोटका बेटा के हमरा होटले में रह दे तो क्या कहनी छे ता हमरा मन खुशी रहे बहुते नीक रहे
The railwaymen and their passengers managed to keep the train running for another few months. But despite their efforts, the Janakpur to Jainagar line finally closed in 2014. No decision has been made on the fate of its former employees, and the new broad gauge line is scheduled to open in 2017.
And the final part of India's Frontier Railways is here on BBC4 at the same time next week. Coming up tonight, setting off on a mysterious journey shrouded in legend and myth. From the coast to the clouds with Jago Cooper in Inca, Master of the Clouds, next.